What's up guys, I'm Mad Morta, and in this video I'm going to be showing off my latest build. This is a Nintendo Switch Pro controller that I've put inside of the original GameCube controller shell. So I picked this up a little over a week ago from my local game store and I instantly hated it. Everything about it just rubs me the wrong way. These nice smooth curves here that are supposed to be nice and round are weird 90-degree angles. The back of it looks like something that I could design in SketchUp, which is not a compliment. On the front we have the Nintendo logo, which makes you think it's going to feel first party, but it's not, which isn't surprising because it's made by PowerA, but it feels like not PowerA's best work. The buttons themselves feel very cheap, the shell feels cheap, it's the wrong color. The silicone pads underneath the buttons feel cheap, which they really should be more accurately described as cheap rubber pads, not the soft silicone that Nintendo uses. The D-pad, while it was bigger than the original GameCube, which is fine since I think we all had issues with the GameCube D-pad, they changed the look of the D-pad on here. The actual engravings on the button were very different. It made it look kind of strange and alien. The left joystick was fine. The right joystick is orangish and really tall. The sync button is off center, which kind of bothers me a little bit. And then here on the top we have L and R, which are meant to resemble the Z button on the GameCube, but they were about 3 times as big as the Z button, which really bothered me. The actual ZL, ZR button, which are meant to resemble L and R, are a dark gray and they're really shiny. Just this whole thing, everything from the shape and the feel to the fact that it uses AA's instead of being rechargeable is just kind of disappointing. So I thought, well, I've already got a GameCube controller shaped Pro controller, why don't I just stick it in the shell? So that's exactly what I did. And I would call it an afternoon project if you had it all planned out, but it ended up taking me quite a bit longer. Originally, this video was going to be sort of a work log video, but when I got to the middle and ended up doing a whole lot of trial and error, that's not very fun to watch. So I'm just doing this video instead. I did have to make a couple sacrifices. First of all, you can see that I kept the original joystick caps on here. The joystick mechanisms underneath the caps have a different stick, you could say, coming up off of it that the cap sits on. So in order to put either GameCube caps or a third-party GameCube caps on here, I would have to actually either epoxy it on, which is a bad idea because it would sit weird, or I would have to desolder the joystick mechanism and find a new joystick mechanism that fits those caps and has the pressy button, which isn't impossible. It was just more work than this particular project was worth. Since I'm actually okay with the left joystick, it's only the C stick I really have an issue with. So let's see. Instead of adding a second Z button over here for L, what I did was I put 2 buttons inside of here. So we have left and we have right, and we have left and right, left, right, left, left, and right. And the LR buttons feel exactly like they should because they use the original GameCube controller mechanism. So they feel exactly like the originals did. The sync button is actually a Wavebird start button that I put into the hole where the wire came out of. Originally I was going to put the plus button down here where the start pause button was, but if you think about it, for symmetry, the screenshot button has to be in the middle, which means that either home or minus are going to be on the right here. If home is over here, it's going to be too easy to accidentally exit your game rather than pausing it, and minus being to the right of plus just kind of bothered me. So I went with the more visually symmetric approach rather than keeping the start button as it was. The D-pad here sits higher than the original D-pad did. I know most of us had some kind of issue with the D-pad on the original GameCube controller. So this one sits higher and it feels more like modern D-pads do, although it is smaller, of course. Instead of having AA's, it uses a rechargeable battery with a micro USB charger. This is the same battery that I used in the Wavebird in this shell. And I think that's about it. So I'm going to go demo this for you. Well, that's about it for this video, so thank you guys for watching.